Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today we're discussing Thicker Than Water. It's Nemsi Studios' latest film. At this point, I think it's like their nth or millionth film on Prime Video. I have lost count. But if there's any studio that continues to feed Prime Video's Nigeria release, it's this guys. And in Thicker Than Water, it follows the story of a sister, essay, played by Adaobi Dibor, who returns to a town. I can't remember correctly if that's the town they grew up in, but she and her sister are estranged. And it's the reason why she's back to this town to find her sister who has gone missing. And now her adventure leads her into the arms of Rimoro's character. It's pretty much interesting what plays out here because Essay says she hasn't spoken to her sister in a long time. And then we find out why. Her sister has been established to be a selfish character from when they were kids to an extent. You know, as kids, they played, they professed love for each other. But as they grew up, started to see cracks and divides that caused them to a point where they don't talk to each other anymore. You know, but Essay being the savior she is, yes, this character actually has savior complex that we see a lot of times. And to a large extent, is one of those characters that is so stupid that you can't help but hate. So she comes to this town and goes on this crazy adventure that nobody sends her, you know, to find her sister. And along the way, she falls into so many things, you know, uncovers a cult conspiracy, uncovers so many things, encounters this character, Tiny, who is a mute, mad, crazy guy. I don't know what exactly it's supposed to be, but he doesn't talk, he just stares, you know. And it's a lot of things. Now, the title itself literally says water, and throughout the runtime of this show, we see a lot of water motifs. One of the things I spoke about when I looked at the trailer and gave my thoughts on it before the film release, you know, so it's something that's prevalent. Something else that wasn't exactly in the trailer, but was very much prevalent in this film was blood motif. I think that's also in very much contrast or in agreement with water, you know, blood is thicker than water, that sort of thing. Because the title clearly even says that, you know, in some form. You know, so it's something we see a lot in this film. And generally, I thought that the film was one that would leave you scratching your head a few times and you'd like to. it's really something. It's one of those films that that posits itself to be deep. You know, it tells you, look at me, come experience me. And well, the big question at the end of the day, whether it is indeed deep, is up to you when you're done watching. You know, and spoiler alert, of course, you know that already because this film has been able to stream currently on Prime Video. So just pause, go watch and return. Because I'm about to get into spoiler territory. Like I said, Essay is a very unlikable character. He makes very stupid decisions because of her need to want to save her sister. And a lot of the times you're like, you just feel like just stretching your hand into the screen and then this year, you know the year one. Use your brain, you know. You know, you feel in the world of the supernatural, you're seeing things that you shouldn't be seeing in this village. You wanted to leave and then your car of all nights there's this stupid storm and your car, what's it called, a tree falls on it and they tell you can't leave for what, come on, the signs were there that you are in something way bigger than yourself. And even when things literally all but speak to that, like when they told her that in that village there is this thing about how bodies can be transferred. Use your number 6, girl. No, but for some reason she couldn't, and it was very, very excruciating to watch. Before I give my final verdict on how the film made me feel, there was something that this film did that I didn't like, and it sort of just brought closer to home the conversation that has been very prevalent in Hollywood. The use of AI in film. There was a sequence in this movie where Rimoro's character was telling Adaobi Dibor's character something, you know, a deep narrative about the village's lore. And for some unknown reason, this film just decided to use AI to bring that part of the narrative to life. And while that shouldn't exactly be a problem per se, because I mean AI is very much prevalent in our lives right now, it's how terrible it looked and how unnecessary it was. You know, we could have easily done away with that simple voiceover. A simple both characters talking and you just keep the camera on them should have prevailed. Or very much animated, completely animated, you know, whatever doodle could have worked other than the AI in that we got that was way too long and poorly done. And it was so unnecessary and I did not like it. You know, and I think it's high time we probably take a slice out of this ongoing conversation in Hollywood and bring it down home here and start to actually converse and yeah, maybe set some ground rules and something because of how unnecessary it was and it was still added, it just gets you to start to wonder what tomorrow might look like, and I think it's not too early to start having these conversations. Now, generally, thicker than water, I thought it was too convoluted or confusing for whatever it is it was trying to pass. By the time I ended the film, I was just, the big twist there was that Onome, who was Esse's sister, Adobi's character's sister, played by Bimbo Ademoye, wasn't missing actually, and from the beginning has been in cohort with 𝐼𝐸more's character to what's it called? To lure Ese to town and to get, brace yourself for it, you get body switched. Now, body switch adventures or stories generally are nothing new, but like you would expect already from now, how this review has gone so far, that this wasn't really done well. But by the time it happened, I was like, okay. I mean, the signs were always there. It's just all of us could see it, except Ese. She was so stupid. That when 𝐼𝐸more's character was telling her about the story, it turns out that he himself was body switched. So her sister Ese had this boyfriend, and there was this journal that was also at play that Ese was reading throughout the film, and basically everything in the journal was a lie. It also gets you wondering why go through that whole trouble of faking a journal. Just it was logically, but yeah, there was body switch, and the main aim for her sister for lying all this while was to get Ese to town, and so that she can switch her body from her body that was trailing into hers because she's queen of the coast or whatever. It was, yeah, it really was something, and something that I just couldn't really, I don't know, I just did not care by the time the review was done, and I was like, okay, yeah, I see the ambition as usual. I see where you guys are going, but just did not see the landing. And yeah, but ambitious project nonetheless. I would not lie, it's an ambitious project. It just suffers from a lot of things that the average Nollywood film these days suffers. Ambitious, lofty ideas, which is very typical with Nemsi films, if I'm being honest. Lofty ideas, really something you can get behind. But on the road of execution, on the trail to executing it, you can just, yeah, it just did not hit home as much as you guys would want. But as always, E for effort. Yeah, always. But E for, you get my point. They tried. It just wasn't giving whatever it is I was supposed to give at the end of the day. Forgive my friend. But let me know, have you seen Thicker Than Water? What did you think? Performance wise, I don't know. I did not have a problem with it, I guess. But I wasn't also swayed. I wasn't blown. It was just plain, and I don't think it's one of those films that you can actually just let it be playing out. You actually need to pay attention to understand things. But the problem is that when you pay attention, it doesn't reward the attention fully. So I don't even know where exactly to put it. But let me know what you think if you've seen Thicker Than Water and your thoughts towards the movie. As always, like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.